Hello, good morning, everyone. Today we have an interesting session about the previous virtual GGR, the virtual GGR leg one that is already finished for many skippers. And we have today Bill Mertens. I don't know, I'm sure that you know him because he has been with us, in some of the sessions. He has won, the virtual GGR leg one, from the Southern London to Lanzarote. And the idea of this session is to let Bill share with us, his experience. How was the race? How was the competition? How are the skippers fighting? In the leadership. So let's try to listen to Bill. How was the experience with this? So Bill, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here again. And just to know more about your experiences during the virtual GGR. Yeah, tell us about it. Tell us how was the competition and so on.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. I guess what differentiates these races is your position's not provided. So you're going to have to start by figuring out where you are. At the beginning it's fairly easy because you're within sight of land. There's a ruler tool. You can just get a range and bearing and nail your position pretty quickly. But once you get more than 50 miles from land, the game only gives you a view of a 50-mile radius around your boat. So now you're relying on the stars. So it gave satisfaction that I was able to run the whole race. I really was never in a question about where I was. And it's starting with that, and then once you've kind of determined where you are, then you're back to what features in every race, which is what is the best long-term weather route to take, and race tactics. Kind of put all three together. Didn't make any mistakes, and kind of cruised to the win.
Great. And how was the experience, of having, I'm sure that I couldn't see, how was this leader group, how many of you were there, because it was hidden, for all of us, you were only seeing, the 15 nautical miles around you. So I'm sure that you were fighting with some of the skippers, who are they, what was the feeling of this competition with the leaders,
I think the fleet stayed close enough together that for the most part, everybody was, like the leaders were almost always visible. There were a couple of times where there were people on the leaderboard who were not visible on the screen. And then you had to kind of like go from memory. It's like, okay, where did he, okay, he's out to the west. All right. Okay. Yeah. It's showing him to be in the lead, but strategically, that's a dumb place to be. Don't have to worry about him. The race boiled down like all of these races. I mean, we've done enough races now where you depart somewhere in Brittany and end up in the Canary Islands. And, you always get some guys who try to cut the corner at Finisterre. It never works out. The worst thing is it was a local. It's like, are you going home? Or are you trying to cut the corner there? That doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, it played out the way, like awesome. The way all the, the Brittany to Canary Island races work out.
Awesome. And regarding, we added this kind of celestial navigation in this race, for preparing, for the Golden Gulf race, how was your experience, sailing with the celestial navigation? I mean, did you study about it? How it was managed, and was it easy for you to manage your position, in that race? How was it, your experience?
It was all right. Well, I'll be honest. All right. The number of times I did star sightings was a few. and I'm still pretty rough at it. I'm really rough at it. I get pleasure from learning something new. I mean, it's personally satisfying to say, look, I've taken a very difficult subject, and I'm not going to say I've mastered it. I'm nowhere as close to that, but I am able to figure out where I am. I relied more on sun sightings, which you've only got one you can do every day. It's at a very specific time, but I found when I did a sun sighting, when I knew exactly where I was, like where we were within sight of land, I would continue to do it. And I was literally within about less than a quarter of a mile. Yeah, which is great. And then, the technology, you're able to do grid reckoning using the routing software. And so, okay, I'm exactly here. I would just track my position tomorrow morning. I do another sun sighting. Wow. My reckoning, I was once again within a quarter of a mile of where I thought I was going to be. So in that respect, it wasn't that tough. I think when we are weeks without having any kind of reference, it's going to get a lot tougher.
Okay.
Because your error is going to compound. So I intend to kind of study more, learn more. I've actually signed up for a celestial navigation course, but it doesn't start for another month, a bit more than a month.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, I found one of the local yacht clubs is running the course, and I'm encouraging as many guys on my team to kind of attend, and as a way, we've actually, none of us have ever met each other.
Yeah.
I've gone and checked out one guy's boat, but I've never met him. I've gone and inspected his boat for him because it's laid up down in Florida, but I've never met him.
I see.
Yeah, but it's the thing. I'll probably like your boat more than I like you, anyways, right?
Okay, great. And the last question I would like to ask you, is do you have anything in mind that you would like to see, in the game for the future legs, for the future virtual GGR legs or other races that we will be having in the game, I mean, something that you would like to see in the game that maybe could make the competition more exciting or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we've discussed and we have planned additional complications, breakdowns, enforced sleep schedules where you have to declare time that you're going to sleep, and you cannot control the boat during that period of time. Boat stress. I think adding those things in, kind of gradually, we're going to end up doing 5-6 legs of this before we get to the real one next year.
Yeah.
If every race we kind of add a little complication without kind of, it will get too tough if we just jump right to it.
Yeah.
And it's my impression right now that maybe 10% of the fleet have kind of mastered the celestial navigation. We did get some good new entrants came in out of the celestial navigation Facebook group, which was really great to see. Those guys kind of took to it with a real enthusiasm because they're a bunch of guys who have mastered this very, there's not a lot of places where you can use celestial navigation these days. So they were really pleased to kind of have a practical application for it. Outside of them, a couple of the other top sailors who, like Timoon, I think I think he was a French. And he was that was my main competition. It was kind of him and I neck and neck there. I mean, he's a former French naval officer, who's kind of, that was his career. It was his job on board, was to pull the section out and figure out where they were. So, but outside of that, I'm gonna think the back 3/4 of the fleet are just following.
Yeah, but I'm sure they give it a try. We have a tutorial for learning, how to work with this. So I'm sure that many of them, try to find out, maybe not so accurate, but maybe to find out how it works, how to learn how does celestial navigation works. And this, I think, is a good point, for the sailors, to learn something new and experience it in real races, virtual races,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's where my satisfaction is coming from, is having, I'm not going to say mastered something new, but I'm taking a bite at the apple of learning something new, and I intend to master it. And I think that's, probably pleasing for other people as well.
Sure.
They want to do that. Yeah, we should work on that tutorial. I found it a little tough to get through.
Sure.
I've kind of
We will
used
work on
a
that.
lot of, one thing I found with celestial navigation is the guys who know it have a hard time teaching it at the beginner level. Guys are jumping into terminology without defining, so I think we kind of get a glossary of terms to start with, just, and just kind of keep working on that. And
Sure. We will be announcing, well, we have already published, the leg 2. It's starting, on October 9th, and it will go from Lanzarote to Cape Town, all along the coast of Africa, and I think it's going to be, it will be another no GPS race, so you will be a hidden coordinates race, and you will need, the celestial navigation for this, and to try to compete. So we are here. We are really happy to see you, and also to see all the skippers for the community, and also to let them, invite other skippers that would like to participate in these kind of races. We are really pleased to to welcome them, and happy to help them in the competition. So remember, we are the race, the leg 2 of the virtual GGR will be starting on October 9th. It's next week, and hope to see you there, Bill. And let's see how it works, and let's try to improve, the tutorial to let all those these beginners to learn more about how it works, and happy to see you here,
Yeah, and I mean, that's another, kind of route. We've got, a lot of experience on everywhere around the world, basically, kind of follows that segment. So, stay away from the African coast, guys. I'll be over by Brazil, and I'll beat you there by a week. All right.
Okay, Bill, thank you very much for joining me, and it's a pleasure to be with you again,
All right. I hope we have many more of these, Pablo.
For sure. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
All right.